If you want to make sure you stay in good conversation, you gotta tune in to Coffee and Conversation with Collette. That's me. Thursday mornings from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on the only station, WHPR TV 33. See you soon. So we're back. We're back. Top of the hour to you. Thank you so much for your patience and allowing us to give a little commercial break. That's what it's about. So as we enter into this new segment, thank you so much for staying tuned. So I'm going to continue the conversation. Then I'm going to include this other topic matter for us as we continue the lines. So please, 8 Mile, finish your thoughts this morning.
Okay. Yeah, so I just feel that right now, our state and the people who live in our state, it doesn't matter what you look like.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how much money you got. It doesn't matter about your background.
Okay.
If none of us could take a bath for Christmas, if none of us could prepare Thanksgiving dinner,
Okay.
we would have had a problem with it. I mean, I just want the residents of the state to understand that even though you were able to enjoy the holidays, the people in Flint weren't able to enjoy Thanksgiving, weren't able to enjoy Christmas like the other 79 other counties. So I want all of us to think about that.
Sure. Sure. I mean, I'm thinking at the end of the day, though, see, that's how sometimes the bait and switch happens. Because we have these huge general issues, like, right, water in Flint. But there are people who live in this community who don't have water, who every day live without water. We have people who live every day, don't take showers, don't take baths. We have people in these communities that didn't have the adequate support to have a quote-unquote Thanksgiving or have a quote-unquote Christmas. So the examples of Flint is just a bigger component of our everyday issue that majority of us live in. It's the haves and the have-nots. And so I'm asking again that we know about it. What do we do? Where do we put our talents and time and our passions? I happen to, just on that note, everyone, and just so you know, there is a pre-MLK observance event that's going to be happening on Wednesday. It's going to be the Dabo Sheffield Center, Reverend Horace L. Sheffield, as partnering in with the McKenzie community and the New Destiny Christian Fellowship Church to give out 500 Coney Islands free to the first 500 people as a pre-observance to Martin Luther King's Poor People's Campaign. Now, whereas we know that that is not going to handle hunger, and absolutely it's not, but it's a conversation starter to say that at least I'm trying to give something to let us know that there are people who live without food every day. So that's a free event that's happening on Wednesday at 12 noon. That's on the 10th at 12 noon. And so if you all follow me on social media, I'll be there. So when I found out about the event and the bishop asked, well, who's going to be there to help serve? And like a room full of people, I raised my hand. He said, well, you're the only one that's going to be here? And I was like, well, I'm not worried about if anybody else is going to be here, because we have to take ownership for us at some point to do our part. So I'm just asking us, as we enter into this new year, what's our part going to be? The smallest of things. Say, I appreciate you. I'm going to get everybody in, and we're going to have another segment because I know you're doing something.
To go to what you said. Just 1 second. Is God doing your work, or are you doing God's work?
Okay.
2 days ago, there's somebody I know that he's mentally challenged. So I would say he has dementia.
Okay.
I see him at 9 o'clock at night. He see me walking towards the crib.
Mm-hmm.
He said, can I stay with you? And I'm like, I gave him a Christmas card, but I'm like, he cut it to me like that. You know, to make a long story short, I brought him around my garage. I cut it to him hard. I said, if anything ever come up missing at my house, I'm on your neck. I brought him around my garage. I let him warm up. I gave him a sweater, gave him some clothes, gave him something to eat, put something in his lunch. When he said sitting in my garage that the people where he lived at was hitting him,
okay,
that was my blessing.
Yeah. because you were doing what
Okay.
you're supposed to do and what you believe is right. And that's what it's about, because you have to have a consciousness. So if each of us then has a consciousness about identifying with that other person, that could be me too. Everybody,
Okay.
that could be you. So I appreciate it. I'm going to bring
Practice
up
what
some
you preach. That's
entrepreneurial
another
things a
tool that
little
you said.
later.
Thank
And
you so
so I'm
much,
going to
dear.
bring you back in probably at the end of the show to talk about an event that you have coming up. So I want to talk about that. So call me back at about 8:50, and because I want to bring that up,
Thank you.
okay? But everyone, I mean, that's what it's about. It's about being in a space. Are we in a space as we enter into 2018 where we're going to do something different? Thanks for your patience. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Collette. Happy
Good
New
morning,
Year.
Deputy Chief. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, and hope you and your family
Thank you.
had an enjoyable holiday season.
We did. Thank you.
Great, great, fantastic. Hey, look, Collette, if
Yes.
I can, I'd like to announce that just like you say, your topic, what are we going to do in 2018? Are we going to do anything different?
Yes.
Well, yes, I am.
Okay.
Tuesday, 10 o'clock
Okay.
at TV 33,
Okay.
Progressive Mind Return. Okay,
Okay.
that's my show. We're going to deal with the issues, challenges facing us in Detroit.
Okay.
We're going to deal with the ignorance in leadership. We're going
Okay.
to deal with politics, and we're going to provide solutions
Okay.
for the betterment of our community.
Nice.
And so, again, as always, I like for the folk to have pencil and paper.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a leader. I'm just trying to educate the people so we can get up and take care of ourselves.
Yeah. Well,
And that's the bottom line. I mean, we have to turn things around in Detroit for everyone, not just black people, but for everyone.
yeah.
And to your statement about the young man, Michael Gilmore, the attorney that filed a lawsuit,
Okay.
that was commendable.
Mhm.
I think others should have taken that same action.
Yes.
We have Senator Coleman Young. He spoke on this issue.
Yes.
I think that by him being in as a senator in Lansing,
Mhm.
I think that he should publicly address this issue on the floor
Yes.
in Lansing. I think we need to get behind him and support him. I think we should take a serious look at our mayor, our city council, why we have not heard anything from them
Okay.
on this issue. I think we need to look at the grassroots organizations.
Okay.
We got people always running for elected office in the 13th Congressional District.
Okay.
I haven't heard them say anything about this non-representation. Okay?
Okay.
I just think that, hey, we're constantly talking about the Michigan State Constitution.
Mhm.
That should have come up.
Okay.
And so this young man, I'm quite sure a lot of people are going to, they're going to down him and where was he at when this and where was he at with that? Well,
Right.
here he is now, and he's speaking up.
Yes.
But you've been around 20 or plus years. You haven't said a thing about it.
Yes. Yes.
So-
and wait, and Deputy Chief, stay right there because I really want people to understand what you're saying. Again,
Okay.
everyone, it is not about if you're going to vote for this young man for this office. That's not what this is about. It's
Right.
about taking a stance and putting forth an action plan to create a conversation that now everybody should have been thinking about it. All the 10 or so names that they have are people out there. I mean, what? Did I just hear that Judge Mathis is considering running for the seat, but allegedly he was just waiting to see what Benny Napoleon was going to do. You have all these people with all these names and allegedly all this experience in whatever industries that they're in, but they didn't come out to have the conversation. That should have been the first thing that you said. The Senator Young, he's on the floor. That should have been the first conversation and things that he said because he already has the audience. Absolutely. He should have said something about it. I believe Ian Conyers should have said something about it. Everybody that has a position should have been saying something about it because if it's about what's best for the people, hello, not when you get the title yet. But if it's about what's best for the people, you'll be doing the work right now. And then, Deputy Chief, you bring up a great point as well. We talk about Detroit City Council. I don't know if people are quite aware that now they just had a vote for leadership under the council. Under the new charter, then the members of that honorable body have to vote in their president and their president pro tem. Before, you all know, it was based on the highest vote getters out of the citizens' vote. But the charter changed that. So now the conversation, so now you have Honorable Brenda Jones, who's the president, and Honorable City Council member at the time, Mary Sheffield, who's now Council President Pro Tem. And so the conversations now are, how is that dissension in council going to affect them being able to move and create effective legislation in and for the citizens of this city? Don't you think that's crazy? If everybody is for the best benefit of the people, should we now be at each other because the vote was different and everyone's jockeying for a position, but you're all supposed to be able to represent a district? I'm just asking us, aren't we in a spirit where it's enough for everybody? It's enough. Why does everyone act like that if you don't get this certain title, you still can't be effective? You're still sitting on council. So big deal that you didn't become the president or the president pro tem. You still represent a group of people that you can get the work done. I thought it was about the work. It's enough for everybody. We can all sit and have a show on TV 33, and we can all sit and talk about some component of the same topic throughout the whole day. That's what all the other stations do. And we don't sit and fight amongst each other. It's not necessary. So if you have me sitting here, and then if you had, just say, Deputy Chief on the show for the next hour, talking about the same topics, and then you had Mr. Jones on for the next show, talking about the same topics, that's all the other stations, MSNBC, CNN, they all talk about the same thing. It's just from a different perspective. And everybody gets along because it's supposed to be giving information to the people. So everyone, I need you all to tune in on Tuesday. What time on Tuesday, Deputy Chief?
10 o'clock.
10 a.m. Because,
10 o'clock, and
yes.
Again, have your pencil, pens, and paper ready. You have the opportunity to call in, and we can dialogue.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you got to wake up and look at this situation that we're in. I mean, this 13th congressional district, without having congressional representation for a year,
Yes.
how is it possible that we have a Democratic mayor, we have the chair of the 13th congressional district, is supposed to be a Democrat,
Yes.
siding with a Republican governor saying it's not necessary. I'm saving money. It's not necessary for the citizens of the 13th congressional district to have representation. I'm saving money.
Yes.
We have state legislators, state representatives sitting there. They're siding with this Republican governor.
Sure.
So this won't happen nowhere else in a congressional district in Detroit, in Michigan, and definitely it's not happening. This type of ignorant leadership is not happening anywhere else in the country.
Nope.
That's why the entire country is laughing at Detroit. I mean, what's his name? Mr. Anderson over in Ohio. He said it 15, 20 years ago. Detroit have the most black elected officials, but they have the most dumbest elected officials.
Nice.
And like I say, how can we have a carpetbag mayor come into Detroit, have a carpetbag administration that's making decisions with our tax dollars, and not allow us to have any say-so? And they're giving the money to their friends, political contributors, and they're benefiting from our money.
Sure.
We're not benefiting at all.
Sure.
Their families are benefiting.
Sure.
Our families catching hell.
Sure. Exactly. Exactly.
So, like I say, I mean, this won't happen nowhere else in the world. I mean, you don't see the Jews in Jerusalem allowing the Palestinians to come in and control their money.
Oh no, it doesn't happen that way. Well, I'll make it even plainer because maybe people don't that doesn't resonate with them. You don't see any other ethnicities even purchase products from black folks. Do you ever see Arabs, Chaldeans come and go into black stores, black businesses, and purchase from them? Do you see Jewish folks go in and purchase from black folks? Do we see that? Because I see that all our whole presentation is that they have what we need. So we'll go to everybody else and purchase what they have for us, and then we don't make it reciprocal. So remember, that's why I talked about earlier about it being mutually beneficial. So we
Right.
don't even understand that. So we
Right.
drain. We don't even. We just.
I know. I know.
I just. I mean,
It chokes you up. I got you. I got
do we, like you said, so again, if we don't want it different, that's all I'm saying, Deputy Chief. Don't
you. Oh,
come
I hear you
spinning your
loud and
wheels
clear.
if we don't want it different. If we just want to have the conversation, if you want to just keep complaining, if you want to keep voting in people because of name recognition, they don't have to understand anything about politics. They don't have to have been successful at anything political. They don't even understand the role, but because they talk a good game, and if that's what we want, have at it. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
But
and I reach you loud and clear. And
yes,
so again, that's why I mean we have to change this paradigm. This is crazy because at the end of the day, the reality is what's happening in Detroit
yeah.
is going to impact not only our children but our grandchildren and great grandchildren for the
Yes.
next 30, 35 years.
Yes.
And this
Yes.
this don't make any sense. So if you don't care about no one else but your own,
Right.
then look at your own.
Yes.
Look at how what's happening in Detroit,
Yeah.
perpetuated by our elected officials.
Okay.
Look at the negative impact that it's going to have on your future, and your
Sure.
future is your children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren.
Yeah. Great point.
So hey, thank you,
No, thank
Collette,
you.
and looking forward to working with you on these issues
Yes.
and topics throughout 2018.
Absolutely. Look forward to the show on Tuesday. Thank you so much. I mean, so there you are. You have it. There's another resource. Again, everybody, everyone can have a different way to get there. You can have a different vision, but we all have to at least know that there's a plan of action and he wants to present it and work forward with it. And we can all be supportive of it. It's not like poo poo. It's not like only one person can have one idea. Like, we have to stop all that. Like, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Haven't you all heard that? And you all go, what does that mean? Well, that means that there's more than one way to do something. And if it benefits the community, then why wouldn't you be open to it? That's all I'm asking. Thanks for your patience. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Collette.
Good morning.
Just real quick off
Okay.
of you guys been talking about a litany of good stuff there. The medicines. Let me just hit that real quick.
Okay, I can't hear you. Can you give me some volume?
Let me hit the medicines real quick.
Okay.
Okay, it's good that you read that stuff because we all know that when it comes to medicines, they give you something to cure a cold, but it's killing something else in your body to kill that cold.
Mhm.
So for black men, it's very important for us to really read what these medications are made of. I remember when I was having problems, and I went to the doctor, and he said I had high blood pressure.
Yeah.
And he gave me these pills that looked like they'd choke me. And I did the research on them pills, and I told my doctor, I said, man, I'll never have sex with my wife again if I take these.
Right.
These will render me impotent.
Right. Right.
And he said, well, that's one of the side effects. I said, it's funny how when you give me a prescription, you don't tell me the side effects, but at least Lyrica did a commercial to let you know how they're going to mess you up.
Right.
So what I did was I just basically changed my diet.
Yeah.
And I didn't need no pills.
Yeah.
It's been over 10 years, and my blood pressure ain't been over 120
Yes.
because
Yes.
all I did was change my diet. And a lot of times with black folks, All we got to do is change our habits.
Yes.
And we will begin to heal immediately. When you stop smoking cigarettes, your lungs begin to heal instantaneously.
Yes.
What stops that healing process is when you put them cigarettes back on your lungs.
Right.
But your lungs are very unique. So I just thought we put that out there when it comes to the medicines, because not many races of people have the medicine cabinets we got.
Right.
You go in some of your Caucasian or even your Indian counterpart households in their bathroom, they don't have a medicine cabinet with 80 different prescriptions in it.
Right. Great point.
And that's because they don't put the faith into modern medicine that we as black folks do.
Ah.
We know that we done seen the person go in the hospital healthy, and then they died 3 days later. And we saying, oh, well, maybe it was them. No, I don't think so.
Right.
So just think about that. Read what these doctors are giving you. Understand these medications. If you don't know the words, put them in Google, and it'll give you the definition to the word that medication is made out of.
Yes. Yes.
Now, resolutions. The fact that we buy into resolutions tell you how much we lost. Because you're resolving to do something later when you should be doing that right then and there.
Okay.
If you're hurt, you don't wait to a date to stop being hurt. You do something about it that day.
Nice.
You get me? So I don't have to wait till the first of the year to resolve that I'm gonna stop doing certain things. If I know the day that I made that I recognize that, then how foolish am I to wait?
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna wait to get a new job at the first.
Right.
What about until then?
Right.
Well, I'm gonna wait to get a new man. Well, what about until then? Well, I'm gonna wait to do this. Procrastination has been embedded in us with these New Year's resolutions and all of this different stuff. When we have the power and ability, as we were saying yesterday, to just get up and go ahead and make it happen. Yeah. Whatever you want to do, you don't have to make a resolution. You don't have to wait on a certain date. Yeah. Change has no date.
Yes. But stay there, Six, because I really want people to get what you're saying. It's about change. You have to realize that what is in front of you, and in order to get a different outcome, the truth is it doesn't have to do with any of the external things around you. It's you. Your outcome changes with you when you change. But the majority of us don't want to change. Even when we know it can be better for us, we don't want to change. Because we become stubborn and we become so committed to whatever these rituals were or what Big Mama said, and or just being adamant about what we want to believe something to be when you clearly see that it has not been beneficial for you. You still don't want to change. We don't. I remember, let me just give this example. My dad, my great uncle Andy, when he was sick and going through his transition, and my dad asked him, he was like, have you asked God to forgive you and have mercy on your soul? And my great uncle said, no, I haven't done that yet. I mean, like, really? I'm just like, okay. So, I mean, if that's not the most exact example I can give you, is that when you are in your space of your physical shell is of challenge and is compromised and it is shutting down, that at the end of the day, you still want to be so strong and adamant about something else. Like, and for no reason. For no other reason than just to say, no, I haven't. Okay. Okay.
Well, to change your mind but not change your deeds and habits is no change at all.
Say it.
See, we can change our mind all day and say, well, you know what? But, just like your Bible says, faith without works is dead.
Right.
Work without change without work is dead.
Right.
You just can't be happy that, okay, I made up in my mind that I do need to change. Well, you got to put that change into action.
Yes.
When I changed when I got into the conscious community, it was a change for me
Yeah.
to take that responsibility, to know that all of this time that I was wrong about something.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't want to admit that we were wrong after all of this time. And
Yes.
let me just go ahead and finish this out because I don't want to deal with the responsibility that
Yes.
change is going to bring, because change will bring a responsibility. You got
Yes.
to be responsible enough to look in your arsenal and say, what needs to be done?
Yes.
What do I need to do to make not the better me for everybody, but the better me for me? That's
Yes.
what it's all about, a better you for you. I've
Yes.
been catching flack for years with people who celebrate New Year's when it's cold outside and the earth is dead and you can't grow a flower.
Great.
It wasn't until recently that they started getting it. They said, I see why you say April Fool's Day is the new year, because that's the day where the flowers are blooming.
Great.
That's the day the birds come out.
Yeah.
That's the day that the earth really wakes up.
Yeah.
But look how many years that I've been catching flack trying to prove to people that you cannot start anew in
Sure.
cold, dead January.
Sure. Sure.
Change. Once I knew better, I didn't wait to do better. I began to do better.
Absolutely.
Even if it meant that it would destroy everything that I built off not doing better. See, it was like when we were selling dope back in the 80s.
Yeah.
We built this lifestyle off of selling drugs. And then when we decided to go legal, we found out the legal money couldn't hold everything that we bought with the drug money.
Right.
Well, that was the casualty in the change. I'm going to have to let a lot of this junk go
Yeah.
so it can accommodate what I'm getting now.
Yes.
And that was the change, that I need to stop this hustling. I need to stop killing my people and start living.
Yeah.
And that's going to cost me a fur coat or 3. That's going to cost me girls looking at me saying, what's wrong with him? I thought he was on top.
Right.
That's going to cost me. Remember when he used to have it? That's going to cost me 2 or 3 cars that I never had in my name. It cost me.
Yes.
But when I paid the price, it was well worth it, because everything that I got legally couldn't be took from me by nobody.
Yeah. And stay right there. And stay there for a minute, because I really want us to get it. It's about stuff. Did you hear what he said? Is that it's all about stuff. So it's the perception of who we want people to believe that we are based on stuff. I'd venture to say that all the people who have done illegal activity, whatever that is, no one put money aside for college funds for their kids. No one bought up stock. No one bought up properties. No one invested in mutual funds. I bet you none of that. It was all stuff. How many cars you can buy and how many furs you can buy. And all these are depreciating assets that don't retain value. How's that? So I'm just trying to understand, is that when we consistently are compromising ourselves, because all of it's a compromise. Hear me. No matter what is going on, it's a compromise. No matter where it is, it's a compromise. So are you making the best compromises that are going to have a favorable return for you? Because everything is a compromise. All relationships are a compromise. It's an agreement. Expectations without agreement equals disappointment. So everyone has to create some type of agreement.
Well,
Did y'all get it?
What, Collette, let me just give you an insight to how that looks. I had a nanny goat. Remember that coat?
Oh, the nanny goats. Yeah, I remember the nanny goats and the jingle boots.
Yeah, I had a nanny goat.
Yes.
And I had 2 of them. And I had paid $750 for it.
Yeah.
Piece. When I sold them, I only sold them for $200.
Yep.
Because nobody in the neighborhood had $700.
Right.
So I had to devalue everything that I bought.
Yes.
To get rid of it.
Yes.
I couldn't get close to what I paid. And it made me feel so stupid that I paid all that money for that coat and that guy got it for little or nothing. But that was my fault for putting all my eggs into that particular basket when I was unconscious. I didn't know no better.
Yes.
But my thing is this: when we know better, like you say, we do better.
Sure.
I challenged my people to this one thing. I said, if you could shut down the liquor stores, if you could just do that one thing, stop going to the liquor store. Stop going to the beer and wine stores. Stop supporting the Arabic-speaking brothers and sisters who have these businesses, who bring down our community, who add to the crime level in our community, even the gas stations.
Okay.
Stop going to them. You can't stop going to them for 1 week. Well, what is that going to prove? They just going to go to another store. Well, that'll prove to that group of Arabic-speaking people that in this particular area, we have a protocol to follow when it comes to the residents.
Sure.
We have to get our own community benefit agreement with these little stores.
Sure.
The little store that's draining your community of over $10,000 a week. That's $40,000 a month, and in some months 50, leaving your community.
Yes.
And not a dime is coming back. But yet, like you said, you will never see them patronize you.
Nope.
You will never see them. You will never see the Chinese buying hair from black people.
Right.
You'll never see the Arabs buying liquor from black people.
Nah.
They're going to tell you, come to us, we got it. Until we wake up in the economic realm of that, to me, Collette, anything else is futile.
Yep.
Because we are still being enslaved on the most basic and rural levels in our neighborhood.
Yes.
We can't even open up a store. That's how weak our base has become, that the black man and the black woman in Detroit from 7 Mile and Hayes to 7 Mile and Grand River owns nothing.
Yeah. So stay there. And this is what we're going to do. I'm going to make sure I'm going to get everybody else in. But this is what we already know, everybody, right? So everyone has reinforced what we already know. So again, as we enter into 2018, what are we going to do differently? That's all I'm saying. Because everything we talk about, we already know. The reason why we don't have is because we choose not to. For example, my old neighborhood, I grew up off of Hawthorne and Emory. I was looking, the house right across from the house I grew up in was for sale for $1,000. And it's a double lot. So it's a house, and then they have this other lot with all these big, huge pine trees for $1,000. And I reached out to everybody that I knew that still lived on that block. And it's like, do you know that if you got 5 houses on that block and you're still living on that block and each one of those houses was $1,000, you bought those houses, you could create your own community. Doesn't have to be out in West Bloomfield and all them other places. It's right where you live. It's with the people that you know, and you start right there to create a different environment. See, we always look for all this big, grandiose stuff. It doesn't have to be all that. It has to be understanding where we are and what we can do within our means. Everybody's getting ready for tax time. You all about to get your income tax. You planning right now about your income tax and who you going to claim and all that stuff. And people get $5,000, $10,000 back for the income tax. What's your plan for your income tax? So are you planning to buy a house right now free and clear? Because you can still get a house for $10,000 in this city. Are you planning to get a vehicle so it's going to best allow you transportation that you need? Are you going to do that free and clear? Are you going to create money accounts for your children? Are you going to put some money aside so they can have, the Michigan Educational Fund that you can put money in and just start investing money for them so when it's time for them to go to school, you're not sitting trying to figure out what it is or how you're going to be able to take care of them, their college tuition, and we're going to talk about that? Or are we just going to handle our debt so that we know how to deal with our credit? Because it's all about credit. If you have credit, you don't need cash. But we're going to invest in handling our debt so that we can live free. I'm just asking because those are the things, because we already know, everybody. So because we know, what are we going to be doing different? Six, I appreciate you. I'm going to get the callers in before we have to wrap up.
Can I say one thing, Collette?
Yes.
The one thing, I want to give a big shout out to the judge who put a halt on suspending driver's license in Michigan.
Okay.
I told people for a long time that there's a natural and inherent right to travel, and that our state has violated us by never defining the word traveler, but making all drivers commercial, because the word driver means that you're making money using your car. Well, we finally got a judge who listened to the cries of the people, and hopefully after her ruling, after the preliminary, right now it's a hard on suspended license, and I hope that the law enforcement agencies adhere to the judge's opinion and ruling during this stage until the outcome comes out. But this is a great thing for everyone who couldn't afford to pay those healthy fines and those tickets, and whose right to travel was impeded due to the state in these municipalities in their greed.
Okay.
So I just want to give a big shout out to that judge. Her first name is Linda.
Okay.
She's in a circuit court. She's a federal judge. And
Okay.
y'all can Google it. It's been one of the biggest stories lately about a judge telling the Secretary of State you can no longer suspend licenses because people can't pay.
All right.
So let's follow this thing and see where it goes.
I look forward to following that up and making sure that we can see what's going to come of that. So thank you so much for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you.
All right. Have an amazing day. And so, everyone, I'm about to go and finish up the lines. I want to also throw something else out there. I posted a young lady on social media put out a question. Why aren't the churches opening their doors to shelter the homeless, especially with the extreme cold weather? I wanted to add that to the equation because we're going to open them up on Sundays to make sure you can get there and do your thing. But did anyone think about that if we have a church on every corner and did you think about that? And there are people who need shelter. Even if you have a bus stop and there's a church by the bus stop that someone can come in and get some heat and get some warmth because that's like the Christ-like thing. Did we think about that? I want to know if you have an opinion about that. I'm going to go to the line. Thanks for your patience. Good morning.
Good morning, Queen.
Good morning, King.
Good subject.
Thank you.
Queen, I just sitting back and thinking, and just thinking about us, Queen, as a people.
Sure.
When you sit back and think about how we have built a world for another people, and in the world, we are the despised and the rejected of the world.
Wait, stay there, King. Stay there. As they say, and that's what we've grown to believe. Please.
Yes, ma'am.
Bingo. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
And so, it's a mindset.
Yes.
And so we have to research and find out who we really are.
Yes.
Which is number one. And then number two, you have to study the knowledge of God. Because they're one and the same,
Yes.
Because when you study the knowledge of self, then you will learn what the knowledge of God is.
Yes.
And so when you sit back and think about it, Queen, and how we continue to a cycle of looking for a result that it's not going to happen because we are still in the same mindset. Until we think in terms of building a whole new world.
Yes.
For ourselves.
Yes.
And those who wants to be righteous, it's not going to change. Long as we continue in the system that we are living in, Queen, it's not going to change for us. I don't care who we put in office and whatnot.
Yes.
Because, Queen, as you're talking, and I have to give credit out to the Halal team who have went above and beyond to do research.
Yes.
And they have discovered that the very government that we live up under have been attempting to kill us 462 years. Yeah. Each day they are attempting to kill us. Well, when they research and find out how they put poison food in our community.
Yes.
It's documented.
Yes.
How they do the vaccines.
Yes.
I mean, it's documented. The government.
Yes.
I mean, the government documentation, understand, it's there if we do the research.
Yes.
Their experimentation on us, all their experimentation has been on us.
Well, wait, and King, stay right there for a minute. And for those of you who don't even want to get that deep, you don't even have to go any further than looking at your environment. Everything has gone against the advancement of people of color, of black men, of black families. Hello? We all know that. So again, that we're going to go full circle on this thing. We all know that we built a society that was not made to validate us. We built it. And as long as they can create the narrative that we are less than, that we are not worthy, that we are subclass, that we're not even citizens, all the negativity that we have grown up under to understand why they want to and how they create power and oppress, then because we know it, we should not have the expectation that they are going to make it better for us. Period. We know it. This is
And
what we know. You can do all the research and give all the examples and do everything. We have it all. It's all documented. We know it. So, with
Queen,
that being the case, right now, you change you.
Queen,
Yes.
in 2018,
Yes.
we gonna make a change because
Okay.
the minds are changing for
Okay.
those who won't change. And the change is
Yeah.
that we're going to bring an end to this world that we live in now. This is the mindset. When you keep watching, when you watch the forces of nature, watch the force. I'm telling you, keep your eye
Yeah.
on the forces of nature
Sure.
throughout this world.
Sure.
It's us that's behind this, Queen.
Yeah.
It's us because we are the very descendant of the originators of the heavens and earth.
Sure.
And we have the power within us, Queen.
Sure.
And
Yes.
we finna bring it all down. 2018. So a lot of us ain't gonna be around in 2018. A whole lot of us is gonna be fuel, or we're gonna be fertilizer for the earth.
Okay.
A whole lot of us, Queen, because understand this has to happen.
I believe
It has to happen because we are so caught up, understand, in a system
Sure.
that from day one, you think about this, Queen. If you had a daughter,
Okay.
and she had a man that was no good, that beat her, mistreated her,
Yes.
what would you, what question or what solution would you give her? You would tell her you need to leave him.
Yes.
And that's what time it is for black people. Remember, they poison our water, the food, the vaccine, everything. They're trying to kill us. And now they have outright said they're going to kill us all, Queen,
Yes.
under this Donald Trump administration. It's
Right.
already been
Right.
agreed to. They're going to kill all of us because they see that we are wakening up.
Well, King, I look forward to that. I look forward
Have
to
a blessed day, Queen. I
you
love
too.
you.
I love you, everyone.
Love your family.
Because
Have a blessed day.
have a blessed day as well. Remember, Megatrends talks about the end of the world, and a lot of us, it can be literally or figuratively, right? So the end of the world is the end of life as we know it, the end of government as we know it, which we see these changes now. The nomadic societies that have been created, we see that happening now. So because we see that happening now, then what do? So either we just gonna lay down, because some of us just gonna lay down. Some of us, when I go and serve at the mission, it humbles me and it puts me in a space, a continued space of gratitude to be of service. But I see men, all age groups, who have been beat up by the system for either reasons of their own, whatever the case may be. I'm not necessarily concerned about how you got there because only you know how you got there and what those lessons were supposed to be. But so many people just bow down and just lay down because it's too hard for them. They don't want to do the work. And so I'm asking us as we enter into, and those of us who aren't even in a shelter situation, that every day we have jobs. Every day we put on the facade that we got it going on and we understand it. A lot of us have laid down and given up on that too. Because we've just bought into the system that we have so much faith and hope in that's going to give a return to us. And we see all around that it doesn't happen and that we're not happy. And so with that, you're giving away all your power. We've given everybody everything to make it better for us, and it's still not happening. And we're missing the point. Please, thanks for your patience. Good morning to you. Caller, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I am. Good morning, Letty.
Good morning.
It's so apropos that I come in behind Baba Jihad.
Okay.
First of all, I'd like to say for you and Sean at the studio,
Okay.
to get rid of that pain in your throat, a simple tablespoon of real lemon juice and hot water.
Okay.
And inside of 3 to 6 minutes, your throats will feel better. Also,
Nice.
it is 13 degrees outside,
Mhm.
and the wind chill factor is 30 degrees below zero. If Baba Jihad is not telling us what's happening to us. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
But I want to address your comments this morning.
Okay.
Um, the first one is about criticism about you having a soft show.
Yeah.
What I like to say to that is a German proverb. And I'll speak it in German if you like, but then only me and you and Germans will understand it.
Das wird sehr gut dann.
Thank you. Danke schön.
Sehr gut.
Anyway, it goes like this. Never give criticism unless first asked. Otherwise, never give advice unless first asked. Otherwise, that advice is going to be construed as criticism, and it's going to do nothing but breed animosity towards you. Next, you open up by saying, until thyself be true. Most people think that King James, William Shakespeare, King James, William Shakespeare, the same freak wrote that.
Right.
No, he did not.
Right.
Until thyself be true is chiseled in the glyphs on the entrance to the Geisha Pyramid.
Nice.
You wrote that.
Nice.
I wrote that.
Yeah.
Baba Jihad wrote that.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to make reference to a conversation that me and the brother Kwame from the Shrine, the Carolinas, from Detroit,
Okay.
and Mr. Richard Harrison had about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And it was about the subconscious thought process and the conscious thought process. I contend, and everyone else that's listening have to contend, that before anything appears objective, something tangible, it must first appear subjective in the thought process.
Yeah.
It has to appear subjective first.
Yeah.
My argument was in this conversation we had that it was that consciously, while you are conscious, while you are walking around, twiddling your thumbs and playing with your toes, the subconscious state of awareness is alive and well.
Yes. Yes.
When that conscious state of awareness goes to sleep, the subconscious thought process is still awake and alive. So I contend that the conscious state of awareness only exists to do the bidding of the subconscious state of awareness.
Nice. Nice.
Also, I would like to. Okay, I would also like to make reference to how you tell jokes that only make you laugh.
Okay.
You got to stop doing that.
That's good.
I also would like to give a couple more shout-outs.
Please.
I'd like to give a shout-out to this brother, MC Gino.
Yes.
As taciturn and verbose as he is, there's always a message of love in his commentary.
Yeah.
I'd like to shout out to a gentleman, and he's Caucasian, that may have very well been the late, great brother J.D. Hill's best friend, aside from the hair doctor.
Okay.
And that is Paul. Where is Paul?
Right.
Where is Paul? Here's a man. I rode by the station up there one day, and I saw two people shoveling snow in front of the station.
Okay.
And about a year later, I found out that this was Paul and J.B. Hill.
Wow.
Here is a Caucasian that has donated more of his heart and money to the station than even myself, Joe, has.
Yeah.
We don't need to alienate that man.
Yeah.
He needs to be a part of this conversation right here.
Nice. Yes.
Next, I would like to shout out to this brother, Shaheed,
Okay.
a.k.a. Live and Living Color. Now that I know who is who, brother, I love you. And your words are just as wise and just as insightful as anyone else that calls the station.
Yes.
And last but not least, I would like to shout out to Hodo.
Okay.
I will say it again, Hodo. I will say it again. The more a jinn does deceptive and undermining things, the more their horns show. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, Philadelphia, Bish Beta. Okay, everyone, that was our German for thank you so much and talk to you later. Auf Wiedersehen. Wow. I hope you got what he shared this morning, what everyone has been sharing. This has been an amazing conversation. I got time. Come on, I'm gonna get these. We're gonna get the calls in. Thanks for your patience. Good morning to you.
Hello.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. How are you?
How are you? Amazing. How are you?
I'm glad I got through. Let me hurry up and get my little words together.
That's all right. Get them in. Get them in.
Okay. Be true to thyself. Stop
Yeah.
depending on the beast to stop this man-made austerity and poverty. Be true to your soul.
Yeah.
Take back your God-given control. Use the universal God has given you the tools to use to be free of all this abuse. Thank you for
Yes.
taking my call.
Thank you so much. Did y'all get it? At the end of the day, you just still got to know who you are. Pull back the layers from all the stuff that you were told that you weren't and live in your truth. I tell you, there is a freedom like nothing else when you know yourself and all of your challenges or imperfections of our humanness, and you still walk and live in it. We still move in it. No one can hold you hostage when you're true to who you are. It's invigorating. Let me just, this is so great. Thanks for your patience. Good morning to you. Are you there? Caller?
Good morning, Collette. How are you doing?
Good
Happy
morning.
New
How
Year.
are you? I'm amazing. How are you?
Okay.
Okay.
You just did say a mouthful
Okay.
when you said you got to know who you are.
Yes.
You got to do that first. I mean,
Yes.
these are things we should even be saying to our 3-year-old children. You know what I'm saying? Who you are and where you came from.
Yes.
But I find so fascinating when I hear people on shows like this and others. They talk about the black spending power. And
Okay.
then they go into how much money is. I think I heard the number, $1 trillion.
Okay.
I'm saying to myself, if we got that kind of spending power, and we were able to organize 1 million people to go to Washington,
Yes.
you understand?
Yes.
How come we can't organize enough people to get their hands on some part of that $1 trillion? You see what I'm saying? I
Yes. Yes.
mean, this thing I'm talking about is you don't even have to leave the comfort of your home to do.
Yes.
You don't have to go to D.C.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you can organize a Million Man March or
Yes.
even organize a church,
Yes.
you can do this in the same fashion. What we
Yes.
need to do is get our own bank. You understand? And once we get our own bank, we get our own legal staff. And after that, we just start sustaining our neighborhoods. I mean, it's an easy thing to do. I mean, we done tried everything else. I'm not against these other things that we
Right.
did back in the day.
Yeah.
But they done already they done adapted to that. They done put a defense up against that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you can't use that no more.
Right.
Everybody talking about it's a new day. Well, you got to use new methods.
Right.
You
Right.
can't be using the old stuff. You understand? It still haven't resulted in nothing. I was listening to Mr. Stokes on one of his programs, and
Okay.
they had some Mexicans on there.
Okay.
And them Mexicans organized all the businesses, came up under one roof. But the main reason they did it was to fight DACA.
Yes.
But the point is, they pulled themselves all together. They
Yes.
became one organization. You understand? This is
Yes.
what we need to do.
Yes.
I'm here to tell you, I'm an old dude, you're a young girl. Unless you do something like this, you're going to always be dependent on others. And that's our problem. We're going to become too complacent with things.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
We have to get out of that and get away from that.
Yes.
You understand? Others never even been in it. When I look back on our history, we were here first, and even after Europeans here, it was just us and the Europeans. All these other people came after us, and I can't believe how all of them have been successful over us.
Yeah.
How do you come in a place and you're better off than the people who's been here all the time?
Say it.
This is the part I don't understand.
Say it.
So you're being deliberately looked over.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
That's going to continue because they all come into your neighborhood. The wigs selling, Asian people,
Yeah.
the Arabs, the whites, everybody but you.
Yes.
And you just the person to spend the money.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you would think behind all of this time, you would have gotten sick of that. You understand?
Yeah.
And then why aren't the leaders and the preachers seeing that? You got to look at this thing as a whole, from the beginning of America up to the day,
Yes.
and since brothers been here from Jump Street from the
Yes.
beginning.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can't see that all these people just walked over you and still using you today,
Yeah.
and you deal with it. You think you can deal with it by voting?
Yeah.
None of these people are going to let voting interrupt that loop coming from you into their pocket.
So look, wait, this is what I need
Are
us
you
to do.
crazy?
Hold on, this is what I need us to
They
do.
will ignore your vote. And ain't that exactly what they did with this emergency manager?
Yeah. Wait, this is what I need you to do. This is what I want you to do for me. If you promise, I want to pick up right where you have ended for us next week. So if you promise me, if you're available, you call in first thing on next Thursday, because I want us to go there. I want us to get into the economics of why, what our perfect example that you said, then why don't we create what we used to have? Why don't we recreate that? I want us to start that off next week, okay? So if you call in, we're going to start that conversation. Everyone, you already know what the topic of the conversation is next week. We have all the examples. Why don't we create our own? Everyone else has done it. We can do it. And we're going to give you some action items to do it, okay? That's what we're going to do
Yeah, we're
next
going
week.
to use that black spending power money. We're going to
Yes.
make a bank from that black spending power money
Yes.
that everybody's out there bragging about saying that we have. Use that.
Yes.
You got it. You said you got it.
Well, we're gonna have that conversation next week because our time is up. Everyone, if you go to my Facebook page and DJ 8 Mile, he has an event coming up, and I'm gonna post it because I want you all to know about it and to be able to be supportive of it. And I won't be able to get him back on the line, but I want you all to be able to be supportive of that. And we're gonna talk about the economics of where we are next week, and we're gonna have some action plans. And this has been great, and I appreciate our time. It is up. You know, we could talk and talk and talk and talk, but that's not what we do. We got to let other voices come on in and keep us going. So continue to make today amazing. Walk in your truth. Take the time to understand who you are, because that will make our difference in 2018. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to us being together next week. Stay warm. See you next time.